The enamic restoration can be easily characterized by either using light cured stains and glaze, or if no stain characterization is needed, a quick process of hand polishing can be carried out. As you can see, a highly polished enamic restoration can be achieved by hand polishing. The end result, whether light cured with glaze or hand polished, are very similar. With just a few simple pointers, you will have the ability to quickly provide your restoration with a very natural, beautiful luster. Sprue removal. Milled restorations usually have a small sprue that must be removed prior to polishing. The easiest methods are using medium to fine grit diamond polishing wheels or ceramic-friendly diamonds or rotary instruments. Be sure to use light pressure to avoid excessive heating of the material. Whenever using rotary instruments, always protect your margins with your finger or use a composite as a filler to create a pseudo die to avoid loss of marginal integrity. Initial pre-polishing, contouring, texturing, and defining anatomy. You can use the same type of instruments you use for sprue removal to create contours, textures, or anatomy. Again, use light pressure with minimal RPM. Depending on your design, during your polishing process, you want to smooth cautiously and polish around the contact zones to avoid removing the contact area. Let the instruments do all the work and do not try to push the material. For inlays and onlays, it may be more appropriate to carry out any contouring and defining of the anatomy after adhesive bonding is completed. Pre-polishing. The enamic restoration has a nice smooth surface right out of the milling unit. A simple two-step polishing process has been developed to produce optimum luster specifically for enamic. The enamic has the availability of two polishing kits. One for friction grip if you choose to bond your restoration first, or the technical set for hand polishing using a handpiece. The enamic polishing set has two polishers, pink for pre-polishing and the gray for high gloss polishing. Simply start by using the pink pre-polishers. Set your handpiece to between 7,000 to 10,000 RPM. It is important to use very light pressure during the entire polishing process. Use the points to begin polishing the anatomy and hard to reach contours. The knife edge wheel can be used to help define line angles, lobes, and other narrow contours. The flat wheel can be used to polish large surface areas. The use of a pre-made composite die is very useful when polishing around the margins. The key to polishing is to continually move the polishing instrument so that flat divots or undesired textures are not created. Remember, the RPM for the pink pre-polishing instruments should never exceed 10,000 RPM. Always use light contact pressure. High gloss polishing. The next step is to repeat the previous pre-polishing steps, but now using the gray high shine polishers. The ideal speed is between 7,000 to 8,000 RPM. Avoid striking the margins by protecting the margins with your fingers. Always use your instruments in a circular motion. Avoid over polishing your contact areas. If the luster is not being achieved, ensure that you're using light contact pressure and reduce your RPM. Movement of the polishing instrument helps maintain smooth surfaces and optimum polish. Clean restoration. After polishing your restoration, make sure it is thoroughly cleaned before the adhesive process begins. An ultrasonic bath and/or steam cleaning system utilizing distilled water works well. Adhesive bonding considerations. Unless specifically stated in your adhesive bonding instructions, VITA recommends etching the inside of the surface of the restoration. The use of VITA ceramic etch, a 5% hydrofluoric acid applied for 60 seconds and rinsed with distilled water, followed by a silane application, is recommended prior to adhesive bonding. If additional luster is desired, a polishing compound can be used after the gray high gloss polishers are used. The key takeaway for polishing enamic restorations is to use minimal polishing contact pressure and low RPM. Following these simple steps, a high polished restoration without the use of polishing paste will be achieved.